It's time for the storyline for Prisoner of the Vow, Parts 1 and 2. Welcome, magical people! We're back, and I'm alive again. I was not feeling very well. The little one got a little bug at nursery, which was not COVID, and then passed it on to moi, which happens quite regularly. So I had every virus apart from COVID, apparently, over the last year and a half. Never mind. Not her fault. Right. So, Magical Mondays was missed. So next Magical Monday is going to be like a double bill. So we'll be reviewing the 1920s event as well as the Part 1 Brilliant event, which is just happening right now. Well, I've nearly finished it. Except I'm stuck on trying to do my highest chamber. Never mind. Right, so we're going to jump into the dialogue. This is Parts 1 and 2. So Parts 1 may not really be a spoiler. Part 2 will definitely be a spoiler. Unless you've read somewhere else where it's leaked. I don't know. But if you already read Part 1, don't want to see it again, don't want to see my reaction to it, then you can always use the timeline below to jump to Part 2. And I'll be watching the analytics. I'm watching you. Anyway, jumping in. Intro Hermione. Our latest attempt to use the calamity to return Ron's stolen memories is a success. The surge has only just begun, and Ron's already remembering bits and pieces of our third year at Hogwarts. We're actually whipping through these quite quickly, aren't we? These years. Right, Harry. I wish I had good news to pass along too, but Gareth Greengrass is as tight-lipped about the unforgivable as ever. I thought they'd come to an agreement. He seemed to lower his guard a bit after I vowed to do everything in my power to cure his daughter's blood malediction. He even started opening up about himself and the calamity, but he's completely mum when it comes to them. Now, apparently, when you say being mum, I forgot what it means now. But it's kept being tight-lipped. So it's like mum. Apparently. Not as in mother, mum. Or mom, as Americans call it. Them. Anyway, Hermione. It's possible he's just being stubborn. But I can't help but wonder if Gareth is afraid of what would happen should he share the unforgivable secrets. Quite possibly, as he has a family and everything. Brilliant Dementor. Harry. Gareth, you researched the Fanable spell for quite some time before Grim actually cast it, didn't you? Did you ever come across Gareth? A counter spell? No. Frankly, I'm not sure it can be stopped. A Fanable spell may very well be magic that once unleashed cannot be taken back. The calamity may be here to stay. Uh-oh. I don't think it is, because this story's got to come to an end sometime. Maybe. Unless it's like Ingress and it never ever ends. Harry, I'm not so sure about that. We didn't think it was possible to manipulate or control the calamity at first, but we proved that wrong, didn't we? Gareth, I do have one theory that shows promise, but I'll need more than just your word that you'll help Sirius. Do I click up on the user name? Sirius before I say anything more. Poster of Sirius Black. Ron. The more I'm able to recall our time together, the more I realise how much danger I put myself in by hanging out with you. Harry. I can't tell you how sorry I am about that. To this day, I still feel guilty for putting you and Hermione in harm's way all the time. Sometimes I wonder why you both stuck with me through it all. Ron. Isn't that answer obvious? It's because you're my best mate, Harry. Even with the gaps in my memory, I know that. Harry, I think your memory loss has made you sentimental, Ron, but I appreciate it nevertheless. 3 broomsticks sign. Hermione, since the unforgivable are off the table, let's talk about the London Five. Following one adversary surge, Harry had a vision of Penelope falling, interrogating you. You made her and the other 4 disappear because they caught on to your illicit activities, didn't you? Gareth, Penelope was always too clever for her own good. I intended to leave her be, but she went and got another Aura, the Ministry Records Officer, the head of the Department of Magical Artifacts, and even a Daily Prophet reporter involved. I didn't have a choice. They knew too much. See, this is my theory. Ages ago. They were going to blow the lid off the unforgivable. Of course, I didn't know about Gareth at the time. We knew it's either Gareth or Constance, so. But I didn't put a name, because I wasn't sure. But I knew they were going to blow the lid off the whole thing and expose them all. And yes, I was right. I was right. Hermione, you can still make things right, Gareth. Tell us where the London Five are, and we'll reunite them with their families. Gareth, it's too late. They're dead. All but Penelope. That's just going to freak you out then, you know. one that actually counts. I justified keeping her around as a pawn, but I honestly didn't have the stomach to turn my wand against her. She reminds me so much of Sirius and had become like a daughter to me herself. I can't tell you where I've hidden her. It's too risky. But for her sake and mine, I hope you find her before he does. Who is he? So let's make another higher up in the unforgivable. Honeydukes Chocolate. Harry, explain something to me. If you had all the information you needed to cast the Foundable spell, why did you have Grim cast it? You're a powerful wizard. Why not do it yourself? Gareth. Because I was desperate, not stupid. I had too much to lose to use dangerous ancient magic that might not even work. Harry. So you manipulated Grim into casting it himself in order to use him as a guinea pig? Gareth. Make no mistake. I may have baited Grim, but I never forced him to do anything. He chose to cast the Foundable spell, despite knowing the risks. Harry. Risks he only took because you abducted his wife. I sympathise with your plight to help your daughter, but make no mistake. Grim is your victim, which is true. Played him like a puppet. So originally my theory was that Letherfold was the one working with Grim. It turns out to be Gareth doing it, actually. So I wasn't far off. Madame Rosmerta. Hermione. Have you been able to recall any more memories of our third year on? Ron. I remember the looks you give me whenever I admired Madame Rosmerta. You were jealous, weren't you? Hermione. I have no idea what you're talking about. Ron. No need to play dumb, Hermione. It all worked out in the end, didn't it? Hermione. I'd say it depends on what you say next. Classic. I do like the banter between these two. The older Ron and Hermione thing I always find quite amusing. But sometimes opposites attract. And if you've ever seen Cursed Child, you know that it's not smooth sailing. The end dialogue. Gareth. Harry, I've had a change of heart. I will help you take down the rest of the unforgivable and end the calamity on one condition. Harry. What's that? Gareth. You make an unbreakable vow that you'll help Sirius. Then, and only then, will I tell you everything I know about the unforgivable and how you might be able to end the calamity. Harry. An unbreakable vow? That's your condition? You may be willing to put your life on the line for your daughter, but to ask me to risk mine too? A smart witch or wizard would never agree to this. Gareth. Those are my terms. If you are being sincere and you promised to help Sirius earlier, then you won't have anything to worry about now, will you? You have time, so feel free to think it over. But be warned, if you refuse, I'll take my secrets to the grave. And that's the end of the part 1 dialogue. So yes, very interesting. I'll try to work out who the he Gareth is referring to. It could be a higher up in the Unforgivable. So it can't be Grim, because he's not going to do anything bad to Penelope. Tricky. Right, moving on to part 2. Intro. Harry. Hermione, you should know that Gareth Greengrass asked me to make an unbreakable vow to help his daughter with the blood malediction. I'm on my way to do it now. It's the only way he'll tell us everything he knows. Hermione. Harry, you can't.
Harry, no way.
It's far too risky. Think about what would happen should you break the vow. Ginny, James, Albus and Lily would be devastated, not to mention there's no guarantee Gareth will even hold up his end of the deal. Harry. Don't you think I've realised that? I've spent days agonising over this decision. Every night I've been haunted by dreams of Gareth feeding me nothing but lies and Ginny and the kids struggling to carry on without me. But I don't have a choice. Gareth's intel and knowledge will be vital for stopping the unforgivable and ending the calamity. If making this vow means everyone else can live in safety and peace, I'm willing to take that risk. Hermione. I wish you didn't have such a pathological need to sacrifice yourself, Harry. But I know better than to think I can stop you once you've made up your mind. I just hope your risk pays off. Brilliant. Werewolf. Constance. You've got what you wanted, Gareth. Harry's going to do whatever it takes to help your daughter. But do you intend to honour your promise to him? Gareth. Allow me to answer your question with one of my own. Why did you agree to seal our unbreakable vow if you were doubtful that I'll keep my word? Constance. Honestly, because I felt so bad for you. You want nothing more than to give your daughter a better, longer life. But you've been blocked at every turn. It's heart-wrenching, isn't it? Gareth, save your pity. I don't want it. Constance, then let me give you a bit of advice instead. Don't be rash. Harry knows the consequences of breaking his vow. You should think long and hard about what will happen should you not keep yours. Hello, editing me here. This is an interesting piece of dialogue, because Gareth didn't technically make a vow, he made a promise. So, is this like a threat? Is Constance the extra other person? I know he said he, but maybe there's some apologies involved somewhere again. But maybe Gareth made an unbreakable vow to the unforgivable, and this is like a direct threat to Gareth not to break his unbreakable vow. Reasons will become clear a little later. Ooh, burn! Constance the killer. Brilliant Whomping Willow. Harry. I need to watch the movies again. I think I might do that this afternoon. I've got a couple of days off. Harry, how's your memory recovery coming along, Ron? Do you remember the day we met Sirius? I'll get Sirius and Sirius and... Ron, I don't know how I ever forget. I thought I was going to die. What took you and Hermione so long to rescue me? Harry, one angry Whomping Willow. It very nearly beat us to a pulp. Ron, that bloody tree. I don't care how valuable it is. We should have done Hogwarts a favour and chopped it down. Hermione's time turner. Harry. You should know that I reached out to the head of St. Mungo's. After a quick chat and a generous donation, he agreed to personally oversee Sirius's care and fund a study on blood maledictions. Gareth, thank you, Harry. I mean that. Sincerely. I was right to place my faith in you. Harry, I wish I could say the same. I made an unbreakable vow with you, placed my life on the line on your word that you would help stop the unforgivable and the calamity. But you're as tight-lipped as ever. Perhaps they should have done an unbreakable vow each. Gareth, patience. You'll get the information you want soon enough. I fully intend to see my promise through to the end, no matter what happens. Mystery note. Piece number 1. Hermione! Harry, one of our SOS Taskforce agents, just found this scrap of parchment after returning a time-turner foundable. Whew, that's the words. Harry, who sent it? Grim, the unforgivable. Hermione, it could believably be either. We'll have to find the rest of the note to know for certain. I can't say believably very easily. 5th piece. Hermione. We haven't recovered enough pieces of the note to make out its contents yet, but we do know one thing. It's addressed to you, Harry. See? Harry, that handwriting, could it be? Hermione. Tell our volunteers to prioritise finding the rest of this letter. If this was sent by who I think it was, it has to be important. Who do you think it is, Harry? Tell us. You never tell us anything. Always keep it all to yourself. Last piece. Hermione. We've reassembled the note, but it's completely blank. Is this some sort of trick? Harry. Blank? Let me see it, Hermione. This isn't blank at all. As I suspected, this is a letter from Gareth. He's drawn a map of the love room within the Department of Mysteries, as well as instructions on how to get in. See, we didn't even know they couldn't get in, because that wasn't revealed in the story. There wasn't enough detail there. Okay, so apparently you can't get into the love room, but now they can. Bah! Hermione, curious. I still don't see anything. Gareth must have charmed it to only reveal its contents to you. Does it say anything else? Harry, you'll find the information you're looking for at the spot marked on the map. Act fast and take care of Sirius when I'm gone. Hermione? Tell my secretary I'm stepping out. I need to investigate this. Hermione, just be careful, Harry. I'm not sure what Gareth's hiding or why he concocted this roundabout way of giving it to you, but it's all very suspicious. How about the take care of Sirius when I'm gone? Where's he going? Is he going to death? Discarded clothes. Hermione, do you remember last week when I told you that Gareth admitted to hiding Penelope Fawley? Harry, I remember. He wouldn't tell you where he hidden her, but hoped you would find her before some mysterious he did. Hermione, knowing Gareth, I thought he might have embedded a clue to Penelope's location in our conversation. I pored over his every word and kept coming back to his comment that Penelope was like a daughter to him. Ooh, in the same place. That's when I remembered that Gareth had pictures of both Penelope and Sirius on his desk. Given that Gareth sealed Kit Gerard inside a portrait, it seemed like he'd done the same to Penelope. But when I checked his office, Penelope's photograph was gone. Uh-oh. Harry, the he that Gareth warned you about must have found her before we could. But who is this man, and how does he break into Gareth's office without us noticing? Oh, well, that's a pickle. Ugh, Harry and the team are behind again. Ugh. Hang on. If Gareth's so worried about the he getting there before they did, and then just didn't tell them, I'm not going to tell you where they are, but I hope you get there before somebody else does. The other person does. Well, tell me where they are, then I would know I can go straight there and save them. If you're going to not tell me, then they are obviously going to get there first, aren't they?
What an idiot.
Sirius Black. Harry. Ron, do you remember how we met Sirius? Ron, I remember. I thought he was the Grim, dragging me by my leg to my death. Harry, you two had a bit of a rough start, didn't you? We all did. I honestly thought he was responsible for my parents' deaths. But Sirius ended up being one of the most trusted allies. Ron, I'll have to take your word for it until I get all my memories back. But he did get me an owls and apology, so he can't be all that bad. The end dialogue. Whew. Hermione, Harry, there's something I have to tell you. Oh god, here we go. Harry, me too. The map Gareth used the Calamity to send to me led me to his journal. I only just begun to read through it, but there's all sorts of information on the Unforgivable and the Calamity in there. Ooh. Hermione, about Gareth. Harry, you're right. I should go and talk to him. I have so many questions. Hermione, Harry, listen to me. You can't talk to Gareth because he's dead. The end. Well, Gareth didn't last very long. We don't know how he died. Did he? Well, he didn't have a wand, so I seen him manipulate somebody else. The he that took the photograph must have killed Gareth. Of course, if Gareth had told Harry and Hermione about the photograph, instead of dilly-dallying around, not telling them, he would not have got there before Gareth. Bit of dodgy writing there. But anyway. Well, that's quite cool. Right, so what we have gained. Well, we know Penelope and Sirius are together in a photo, which has now been taken. So, 1 point for Unforgivable. Gareth is dead. So, 2 points to the other Forgivable. They have gained access to the love room, which is 1 point for Harry and the team. And they have the journal of Gareth, which is another point to Harry and the team, which has information about the Unforgivable and something else. Forgotten. The Unforgivable and the Calamity. Oh, jeez. Right, anyway. So, it's 2 each. So, yes, you win some, you lose some. At least they weren't fully inept. Only partially. It's entirely Gareth's fault. He's an idiot. But he's not a problem anymore, so we'll just rub him out of the screen because he can't be around anymore, other than his journal. So hopefully there's a lot of information that are going to give us from that. We are definitely learning a lot more now. This could be because people are leaving the game in droves because of all the bugs. And unfortunately, it's getting really hard to do Dark 5 on my own. Well, that's a fine. I tend to do Dark 5 with the Brilliant events. You will see the find there's less players around every now and again. That is the story so far. I find it quite exciting. It's moving at a decent pace now. I'm not quite sure whether it's because they're reining in the end of the game or not. But I'm enjoying the pace of the story either way. I wish they would take some breaks and fix some of the bugs, which would be quite nice. But that's something for a different video entirely. So that's about all I can think of talking about right now. I didn't script any of this. Anyway, follow me on Twitter at the Zealman for the latest news as and when it happens. Taskforce.times.news as well for event quick references. That gives you what's spawning on events, what shard colour to look for, the tasks, and also tips for each individual task as well, and a bit of clarification in case some of them are a little bit confusing. Yeah, I'm so glad I did it to the website and not infographics, because the amount of bugs and things that don't turn out to be as advertised means I can update the guide rather than infographics, which gets stuck. Also, my spelling is terrible as well, so I need to correct that sometimes. Also on taskforcetimes.news is the storyline as and when the dialogue is released. You should be able to see video. At the moment, if you go into a story that's not released yet, it'll just be blank. It'll say it'll be released soon. But I can actually put a toggle thing on there to say show me spoilers, which I may do. So let me know in the comments below what you think about that, and also what you think about the storyline. I think it's kind of moving along quite nicely now. They completely not acknowledged the fact that the 1920s thing happened. So, oh well. Hopefully, maybe the next one they'll acknowledge that Newt Scamander and random other things are running around the neighbourhood. Anyway, until next time, brush up your spells, get your wands ready, wizards delight.